Kirsten, I see the meeting is okay. Meeting is now streaming live. So we're back out of executive session where the committee members discussed the status of the nomination. I think we'll bypass the establishment of a regular meeting schedule, although that is just to throw it out there. We do want to, going forward, have a kind of more regular, whether it's every 6 weeks, every 2 months, every month on a regular basis, so that, in part, so that the public has a more predictable idea of when we're meeting, and in part so we don't have to do the polls all the time. So maybe we can figure out a time for that via email rather than take up more time tonight. So the only other item for us is adjournment, but first, if I see Ms. Prizio, Ms. Fair, if there's any public comment you would like to make, please go right ahead.
Okay, I'll go first, Cindy. I just want to say, I don't know what's going on in the executive sessions and stuff, but I just want to say that the fact that Ms. Carpenter, who I'm supposed to be meeting with tomorrow, I don't know if she will or not, but the fact that, she hasn't been even respectful of the process of her nor the governor respecting the process, or the fact that the people did not choose her, and yet she continues to try to hold on to position. It just reinforces in me that she's not the right person for this job. And because I worked so hard to get here, it's not a simple thing for me to just say, okay, well, this is who the governor chose and let's keep it like that. For me, a successful end outcome is having someone who truly cares about and truly shows that they care about incarcerated people, and they're going to do all that they can to support them. And I'm sorry, I just haven't seen that in her yet. And it, it's discouraging because we worked so hard to get here. 2 years, you struggled and made your decisions and gave him the names, and he chose to pick the one person that the people are not supporting. And so I'm just going to continue to watch the process. And I don't know if Marisol informed you, but I'm looking at having a press conference one day next week. I'm working with one of the legislators to do that, just to talk about our disappointment in what has happened so far. And I'm not really sure if any of you guys are willing to stand with us, but I think at this point, someone from the advisory committee needs to take a stand and have something to say about, all the hard work they did and where we are and how, we're not really excited about what happens. And we're hoping that the governor and Ms. Carpenter will take into consideration what the people want and do the right thing. Thank you. And as always, I always said that person doesn't have to be me. I just want it to be somebody who really cares about incarcerated people and their families. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Barbara, you said you might be meeting with Hillary tomorrow. You don't have to share this, but did she reach out to you to set up a meeting, or what's...
After the hearing, because in the hearing, she talked about reaching out to people.
Right.
And then, anybody who watched it, I put on the record, well,
Right.
She's had plenty of time to reach out to me. She never has. So, because they made a suggestion that she needs to reach out because people in the community need trust, she stopped me after the hearing and took my number and everything and said, can we meet? And so we talked for a few minutes, and I agreed to meet tomorrow, and she took my number and everything. I still have not heard anything from her since, but I know she's probably feeling how I really feel about the position already, and maybe she won't, because I'm just going to tell you, one thing that made me walk away from her on that day is we were talking about understanding the feelings that Black parents face when their kids are in these situations, when their loved ones in this situation. And one person said, I feel if my son was inside and has some issues, I feel I can go to Barbara, where I just don't feel I can go to you. But she said, I will support you if that's who it is, but I really don't feel that you gonna feel what Barbara would feel. And so she made a comment, well, I just want you to know I have a Black son. That's when I walked away. I said, okay, that's it for me. So now you're trying to say because you have a Black son, you validate your Black experience. It's too much for me. I heard it so many times. And so I walked away. I said, that's it for me. So that's why I said, I don't know if she's gonna meet with me or not. Maybe she feels she doesn't have to because of whatever the governor might be doing behind the scenes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Mhm.
Cindy, Ms. Pritzio, do you want to say anything?
Yep. On a much lighter note, I think. So my name is Cindy Prizzio. I represent the nonprofit One Standard of Justice and multiple marginalized communities. So one thing I'm glad you brought up, Ty, about regularly scheduled meetings, because I was so frustrated in terms of your schedule from the beginning forward, quite honestly, and it was hard to keep up. And then the few times I made it on with last minute notice, you went into executive session. So I really believe for the community to be as involved as it should be in such an important matter, we must demand regularly scheduled meetings. And if you have to publish ad hoc meetings, so be it. The other thing is, you talked about work groups at the beginning of the call. And I was wondering if this committee is going to be expanded because similar to other committees, there seems to be sort of regurgitating the same people over and over again, or will members from outside be able to join the work groups?
I would think that the subcommittees would be made up of members of the broader Correction Advisory Committee, but I would see no reason why meetings of those subcommittees couldn't be open to the public in the same way that these meetings are. And yeah, I appreciate. I think we do want to have these regularly scheduled meetings for the reasons you indicated. But just to note, these are separate from. We do have statutorily mandated quarterly public meetings. So those will be, I think, a more formal type of meeting where once we have an ombuds, we're hearing from the public about the performance of the ombuds. That's a more deliberate sort of effort to take in community reactions. But you're all are welcome to continue attending the regular meetings as well.
Well, here's what I see.
Schedule more predictably. Yeah.
Here's what I see. I see the usual suspects on the call or in the hearing at the Capitol as an LOB. And how large is this committee? And where are the other members that, for the past 12 to 8 months, I haven't seen? So that's why I was wondering about, does the committee need to be expanded? And I guess that's statutorily. Is that right, Barb?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, not to speak for, just go ahead.
You can.
I think it would require some amendment to the legislation to expand the committee. Each of us could rotate off. We have 2-year terms. We've already had one member who resigned, and then Marisol was appointed in her stead. So there will be turnover, but I think to expand it would require some legislative action. Yeah.
So usually from what I've seen, and of course I'm not, the letter of the law here, but usually from what I've seen on different councils and committees that have been established by the legislature, that members from the outside can participate in work groups. And so I'm suggesting that be explored if you don't know the answer. Because I know I'd like to be more involved, and I'm sure there's others who would be.
Yeah, thank you. So that I would be happy to look into that, and I appreciate your interest in it.
And then about the nomination, I have nothing to say today about it, other than in my mind, one option could be that this blows up and completely, and it's a do-over. So
I think that's one of the outcomes. That's one of the potential outcomes. Yeah. And obviously, I'm sure you can guess something that we were discussing in executive session. So We appreciate the two of you joining us. It's very helpful, I think, to have you, and certainly when we until we have our regular meetings, which hopefully will be very, very soon. Please do keep our feet to the fire. I see. Yes, Barbara, you have a hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to what Cindy said. I would hate to see us have to do a do-over, but I'm telling you, before I see the absolute worst person for the job get in there, I would do it. I would hate to make people wait even longer. But if the right thing is not going to be done, people don't have the integrity to do the right thing, then I'm for whatever.
I appreciate hearing that because that has been a concern of ours. The idea of having any further delay, and having heard from you and from others that as regrettable as additional delay would be, it may be preferable to the alternative that sort of as the governor has presented is very valuable to hear in terms of having that perspective, which I assume others share with you.
And Tyke, I'll just add that if that does play out that way, I think at least the people who are present, there's a commitment to try to move as fast as possible with nominating a new batch of people.
Okay, so thank you, Cindy, Barbara. Thanks to everybody on the committee who joined. I guess we'll just take a do we have enough for? Yeah, we can move to close, or otherwise we'll just hang up anyway. But a motion to adjourn.
Ty, just for
Go ahead, Andrew.
just
Sorry.
for the record, yeah, just for the record, I think our initial terms are 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
I don't know
Stuck
exactly
longer than you
when
thought.
that runs from. I think it might be February 1st, 2023, but don't quote me on it. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to go back over all of that stuff myself. It's been so long since I looked at the bill.
Right. Well, stuck with us for a while anyway, unless there's departures, which is certainly possible. And yeah,
I want to thank all of you really for the hard work that you put in, because I know it took a lot to get here, and I really appreciate what you did. Even though I don't like the outcome, but I appreciate the hard work.
well, thank you for your work as well, obviously, which predicated ours and continues. All right, I think we had a motion. I'll go ahead and second it. And if there's no further discussion, all in favor of adjourning? Aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
Okay.